We are live. Good to see you again today, my EOSwriter podcast friends. We've got a great show for you today. We've got Fred from pixEOS. We are going to be talking about all the awesome new things that are happening with pixEOS. This is one of those projects that is just pumping out new projects, new announcements all the time. So stoked to have you on the show, Fred. Welcome back. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Brandon. It's a pleasure to be here. It's great to be back and talking to you. It's always a great show. Yeah, I'm Fred from pixEOS, one of the founders and the ones trying to build this cool community and project on EOS with a lot of stuff, a lot of new games coming up and all the art platforms for our users.
Yeah, a lot of exciting stuff going on. So, Fred, we always start the show with what's most interesting to you in EOS right now. What is that?
From the beginning, the most interesting thing in the best in the blockchain verse is the community. So we love the community. The EOS community is amazing. We had a great and huge support from everyone from the launching of the project and throughout all the steps that we're going. Some like amazing times, some not that great times that we need to face, but yeah, our community is amazing and the EOS community is like great, and we hope to see it growing like greatly this year.
Yeah.
I think there are so many exciting things to come, and obviously everything around we couldn't build if the technology was so great and put out so great use cases of the blockchain tech with EOS. So I think it's the perfect ecosystem to thrive.
It is. It's killer to see how this has evolved. The reason that I'm huge on community is because that was kind of my inroad into cryptocurrency, because I wasn't super technical, and I'm still not super technical. I've gotten better.
Yeah. Same here, brother.
Yeah, for sure. But so, back with BitShares and then with Steemit, before that, all I could do was basically hold cryptocurrency, hold Bitcoin, hold ETH, that type of thing. And then when Steemit came out, I finally had an inroad to participate because it was a community as opposed to I didn't know how to do, be basically a coder. And then I was on Steemit long enough that I became a witness and started trying to be a little bit more technical, but still it was the community that brought me into this. And I think that as we go along, that community comes more and more important. That's where adoption comes from. That's where regular people actually get to come in and use the blockchain. So yeah, I love the community aspect of EOS. We're in a killer spot.
Yeah, definitely. I think like to try mainstream dApps and to build for the community is the key. So yeah, we're getting there.
Cool. So that's obviously one of the big focuses of pixEOS. That's what's so interesting to me about the project. That's what kind of wants to make me be a part of it, is the community you're building, how you consistently do that with you're hitting at tons of different angles. So let's talk about some of the new things that are new on pixEOS, because people are familiar with where it's been, but what's happened recently?
Yeah, we launched our game center. We're testing some different kind of games like the arcade and endless runners. So we're still developing the whole system. The whole system will be out pretty soon, and it's been like super exciting to see the reactions and people actually enjoying it and playing it. They're like the first titles that we're putting out, like they're pretty simple maybe for the mainstream applications, but to connect them to blockchain and to make them exciting enough for people to interact with them, it's been a challenge and a great challenge that we're loving to do, and I think we're doing it nicely. Like Blockatrix 3000 just came out, and it's a super exciting, good looking game to interact with.
Yeah, Blockatrix 3000's got a lot of people saying it's an addictive game.
There are some rainbow blocks that give you actually some pixEOS, so it's a free to play, earn pixEOS kind of game. Obviously, the economy will evolve. We'll have the multiplayer version of it where people will actually play pixEOS pay pixEOS to play, and then we have all these boosters that you can pay buy inside the game. Is like pretty addictive. But like people, they're fighting to have the higher score. I see some competition already ongoing in our community, so it's like pretty exciting to see what's going on. When the full version, the beta version of the game will be out, it will be like a lot of fun to see people competing within the game. And the other titles that are coming, like we have different kind of games coming to the end of the year, so it will be an exciting road for gaming in the pixEOS platform.
Yeah. So what are those areas where blockchain's used? You said that so it records the high scores. It allows people to pay to play if they want to play multiplayer, but they can play single player for free. And then there's some sort of then they can buy items with
They can
pixEOS.
buy items. Yeah,
Okay.
We're starting like we put it all together. We wanted to put it in a mainstream way, like to blend off chain and on chain. So techniques of putting it together and allowing people to play like a traditional endless runner, but still interacting with the blockchain and getting rewarded for playing the game. And the upcoming version, the whole game center. It will be, I think it will be kind of groundbreaking the way to interact and allow players to use and to play different games, and to like everyone can play. The people that are not in the blockchain, they can play. They're accumulating credits. If they in the future decide that they can take out those credits, and this is I think is what is very interesting about this platform, is that like people, they will be playing like innocently without knowing that they're actually making money doing it, right? And our goal is to educate them in a way that in the future they will set up their EOS account and they'll be able to take out what they earn in the game. If they don't want, they can keep on playing, just accumulating credits and getting boosted with the credits that they got into the game. And that's it, to bring awareness about the project that is building on EOS, that is building on the blockchain, but can also create something that other people can use. So on the long road, we want to have it in the app stores,
Yeah. So
and a lot of people interacting with it.
are those credits appearing as pixEOS tokens, or how are those
As
credits?
pixEOS tokens,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
This is the idea. In and out pixEOS tokens.
Yeah, yeah, I love that model of letting people accumulate tokens and then maybe turning them in, maybe not. But the fact that they're building this incentive that they could turn into possibly whatever their dollar is great. And also, some people might play and then come back and check in a year and see that they have more money than they thought if the price increased or something like that.
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
it's also like super exciting. Like we're super hyped with it. I think the model is like really, it's a new thing, because sometimes like you have this maximalism that you need to build everything on chain, but who understands a little bit the tech knows that blockchain will not solve all the problems. And when we start to actually use blockchain to solve some of the problems that we need solved, but blend it with the traditional technology and platforms that we're used to deal with, I think we'll come up with very interesting use cases. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be a bit disruptive and disconnect of some maximalisms, and try to build things for people actually to use, not only the blockchain people that wants just to do it with their tokens and have some return with it, but also the other people that wants just to have fun and play a nice game, and then maybe we'll have the opportunity to educate and bring them to the other side.
Mm-hmm. How's the outreach to people like outside of blockchain? You mentioned people who might not be in blockchain but playing these games. How's that end up happening?
Yeah, we've been making some testing around with friends and family, and like they're addicted. They love the game. Like it's
Mhm.
really addictive to see, like the way it was built, how it was skinned, all the art that is involved in building these games. Like super cool. We used our bots. That is Voxy. That is the mascot of pixEOS from the beginning, from our uh, very early days. And it's pretty fun to see how people they like to see Voxy in the game, and how the game shop where you can buy the boosters is so well designed and conceived, a little bit in this retro style, a bit 80s, a bit 90s. So I think this whole atmosphere that we managed to bring to the game, and also put a little bit of the blockchain technology to it, it's super cool. I think the final result pleases very much. There's a lot to improve on it, obviously, but I think it's a good start for the endless runners in the ES blockchain.
Yeah, that you mentioned like the 80s and 90s and that retro feel. That's one of my favorite things about it. Every time I'm clicking around on pixEOS or in the Game Center or something, I'm just I have this like nostalgic feeling of just
Yeah,
loving the art and the colors and the old video game boxes, the arcade boxes and all that. It's just like you know. Uh, it reminds me of that book Ready Player One or that movie Ready Player One.
hmm
It's just all 80s nostalgia stuff and you just love it just because 80s and 90s just because it's so you've got like this, you've got that perfect niche of all people who are around that time. So yeah, that's killer. You keep mentioning the endless runner. Can you explain to people what that is?
Endless Runner is this simple game that you download in the App Store, and you're like playing. Uh, it never ends. You're accumulating. You're like having this high score that you want to reach higher and higher, and getting credits. But this is not something that you have several stages.
Mm-hmm.
Like the greatest example of all time is Tetris. Is
Mm-hmm.
something that you just log in and you're there, piling up until you can. When you can't, it's over. So
Yeah.
basically, this is the kind of game that we want to focus on bringing
Okay.
to the blockchain,
Okay.
and finding the good solutions to integrate it, because it's not very easy.
Mm-hmm.
There are games that are pretty easy to integrate, because like the mechanics allow you to connect it to the blockchain. The endless run is a little bit more tricky, but I think we got with Blockatrix 3000, we got to a very good blend um, of technically connecting it to the blockchain and still having it fun and fast enough for people to play.
Yeah. And you're going to be integrating with Endless Runner. You're going to be integrating some sort of multiplayer with Endless Runner.
We
Like,
will, we will. Yeah, all the idea is that all our endless runners, they will have the multiplayer function, so you'll be actually playing against other users. What is makes things even more fun.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And what's the overall thought on the Game Center? Is this kind of like a game app store or what? I mean, how do you vision?
It's a game app store. It's a
Mm-hmm.
games app store. Like everything that we're building that is game related is coming to the game center. The before Blockatrix 3000, we deployed the pixEOS Paint Flash Edition. That is the canvas where people can actually paint with pixEOS tokens, and it's been a huge success. The canvas is like super pretty. Like there's amazing art in the canvas, because like right now people, they can actually afford to paint in the canvas. In the ES canvas, as the ES goes up, it's more difficult to have activity in the canvas, because it gets more expensive for people, and the economy needs to be steady. We're talking about blockchain, so we cannot be tweaking the economy every time that EOS goes up and down. It's a very intricate economy behind the canvas. So what we decided was to launch this canvas for people to paint with pixEOS, and the interaction in this canvas has been amazing. You see like amazing work arts, like people, they're not like very worried with spending their tokens, because this is what we wanted to have, functions for the tokens in the ecosystem. And right now they can actually spend their pixEOS tokens to paint in the collaborative canvas, and it's a pretty simple mechanic. People, they paint, and they get you have a leaderboard that the top three, they would get some prizes, so they get some tokens for painting more in the canvas, and it's being a lot of fun. Being a lot of
Yeah.
fun. We have a lot of interactions. It's amazing the amount of pixels that are being painted in the Flash edition of the pixEOS Paint. And then we'll move to all other kinds of games. We're talking with other platforms that built in other blockchains. We're uh, thinking about, like, they want obviously you have a lot of people that want to come to ES, and they need an introduction. They need someone that will like explain to them how things roll, or help them developing. So we're talking with many different people and studios and projects that actually want to join the EOS ecosystem, and we may be also onboarding them into the platform. And their way in will be through the pixEOS platform.
Okay.
So have all sorts of games, strategy, multiplayer, card games. We can have anything. We have a lot of stuff in the pipeline. There's some we cannot disclose yet, but in due time, people will realize that the Game Center will be a very complete app store for the EOS ecosystem.
Wow, that's a huge, that's a really cool big picture thought that you guys are doing. It's it's come so long since when I first was looking at it as just a paint canvas. It's
Yeah.
it's a huge project. And that's one of the reasons I said this a couple times to you. But I was trying to, when pixEOS hit the exchanges, I was trying to pick up some of the pick up a bunch of big bag of tokens, because I see this project having a lot of token velocity, as some people like to call it. But the tokens are actually being used. I think that's rad. So can you talk about the Flash edition dynamic a little bit more? Because with the canvas where we're using EOS to paint, like you're saying, it was basically just getting a little bit cost prohibitive for people. Are the rest of the dynamics still the same in the Flash edition, where people are using the pixels to paint? If they're painting over each other, they're getting paid back like 1/3 more than what they paid for each pixel? Is that how that's going still?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. It's much more simplified. So basically,
Okay.
you have like this. The mechanic is this: someone paints over you, you're getting back what you got. What changed dramatically is the cost. So it's like super cheap. So you can just go there and paint anything. So you're not spending actually money to paint there. It's very symbolic. And we don't have all these patron bonuses and all these pots and all of that. We excluded completely. So it's a very simple mechanic where people painting over people, and they're getting back what they spent, and then they participate in a leaderboard that is actually distributed every 24 hours. So it's an ongoing collaboration. There's nothing very intricate in the mechanic. It's just a way of people to kind of fight for the space in the canvas. So it's pretty much simplified.
So you get back the same that you spent if you spent 10 pixels, 10 pixels,
No,
then you get 10 back, or
the proportion
10.3.
the proportion is the same.
Okay. Okay.
So from the
Cool.
original. Yeah, we just don't have all these like the 24-hour pot and all-time pot, all of that. We eliminated the complexity of the original canvas, so we kept it like pretty simple. You paint, I paint over you. You get what you painted plus something else, and then it keeps going like this. And if you paint a lot, you participate in the leaderboard, and you're rewarded with a bunch of tokens.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. I like that. The fun part of the canvas is the painting over each other and the new stuff popping up. So to make it flow a lot faster is a great
Flows
idea.
a lot faster. Yeah, and we made the canvas also slightly smaller, because also we realized that the big 1 million pixels canvas was very hard to fill up. And making like it more interactive with cheaper pixel price and smaller, we'll have a lot of canvases to go to the gallery when we launch the gallery, because the idea is that every canvas becomes a rare art. I decide to finish this canvas, it will be immortalized and backed by the goods NFT, and we'll go to the gallery or to the auction house. So the dynamics of this canvas allows us to have more collaborative art pieces in the end, right? And make them looking nicer, because like obviously the first canvas was a kind of a big and huge experience for us, and then we learned the good things and the bad things about it, where people can actually paint and paint nicely and not be too concerned about it to be too expensive, or I'm going to spend too much money in the canvas. That was never our goal. And the moment that we launched, it was pretty reasonable. As EOS scales, then things they get more complicated. People quit on painting. So that's what we wanted, to have a much more dynamic canvas, to have a lot of digital rarities coming out of it.
Yeah, that's the art that I saw, that whale that was drawn on there, the big giant blue whale, was beautiful. And there's such, just like full full paintings going on there. It's really cool to see. That definitely changes that dynamic. So
Yeah,
this first canvas, I mean, this is kind of the first flash canvas, and it'll probably be one of the first one that's mostly full. So that makes me think that I want to get on there and leave my mark on one of the first canvases that's going to become an NFT. So
exactly.
I'm gonna go get in on that, Fred.
Yeah.
I just shouldn't have just let the secret out though. Now I'm gonna have competition trying to get on the first canvas here. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
the nice thing, and when we think about it, like, it's blockchain, so every transaction is recorded. So when we immortalize this canvas, you know that you painted there, right? You have the account that painted that in the metadata of the NFT. So that's like pretty cool. Like, you're immortalizing it somehow, and from the moment it ends, it's a unique piece of digital art
hmm yeah, that's
with your
cool. It's
signature, with your blockchain
uh-huh.
signature on it.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
I'll have to use my Mr. Happy Money account because then it's recognizable for me. So,
Exactly, exactly. And
yeah,
we'll be remembering it in 5 years.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I painted there. It's like, it's in the blockchain forever.
Yeah. So what NFT? So you guys are going to turn these canvases into NFTs. What NFT standard are you guys, is the team using?
Yeah, we're part of the D Goods initiative. So all our NFTs will be D Goods compatible.
Cool. Cool. And then how do you picture the art gallery going? Are you going to hold these canvases yourself for a certain amount of time? Are you going to auction them off, or what's that look like?
Yeah, we are like, one thing that we want is that this canvas to revert somehow to the top painters of the canvas. So we'll
Okay.
be kind of rewarding the people that actually made the best arts and painted more pixels in the canvas. So this is one of the facets that we want for that.
Okay. Okay. That's a
Yeah.
cool. That's a
And
cool idea.
we'll obviously we'll have it for sale in our gallery or auction house.
Hmm.
And we want to have many of these canvases.
Hmm.
So yeah, it will be a piece of rare art. So we have also, like, some stuff that we want to do charity. If we get to have, like, these canvases as a popular asset, and that is actually being sold in our gallery, we want to do some charitable initiatives. There's a lot in our in our plans to make it as dynamic and as meaningful as possible. But yeah, they will be published backed by an NFT in our gallery or auction house.
So when it's backed by an NFT, does that mean there is will there'll just be one canvas, or can there still be maybe 100 of these canvases, but they're just all provably one of 100?
Uh, there are the two models that we will actually use, because you have right now the non fungible the semi fungible tokens,
Hmm.
also in the D good standard, where you can have different like multiple editions of one asset, right?
Hmm.
So, but I believe that you have unique and you have multiple. It depends on the art that is involved. It depends on the interaction that is involved. It depends of how full it is when we finish it. So there are many factors that will probably influence in the decision of making one or different editions. But one
Okay.
thing is for sure: if we create one edition, the metadata is a sole edition to always be a sole edition. We're not
Yeah.
multiplying it in the future. So we'll decide for each canvas, like, what is worth it and how many editions we want for that. But
Okay.
probably you have both options.
Yeah. That's that makes sense. And there's still going to be the original that's obviously, like you said, in the metadata that you can see. And then if you're, making basically prints of it, in
Yeah.
the same way that you see artwork. So that's cool. Um, so you talked about in onboarding devs and maybe even like other game studios. Are you looking at like kind of indie game studios? Is that who are you reaching out to, or who's reaching out to you?
Actually, we've been, like, pretty casual. We've been meeting
Mhm.
people and talking to people. People connect to people, and then I know these guys that develop developed in these other blockchain, but they're not having the adoption in the public. So they're really looking forward. They have this full game already developed, and they're looking forward to first a blockchain where they would have a better technology for it, so they could make the games faster, or the NFT standard is better for their assets and work better in the sense of the transaction fee and how fast the transaction is, because like you don't have some things that get pretty expensive right now in other blockchains. If you're like dealing with NFTs in Ethereum, depending on the cost of the NFT, you need to spend gas. It's not immediate, so it doesn't give you the dynamic that you need for the game. So yeah, people has been they have been reaching out to us. We're meeting people in the conferences that they are asking us like about EOS, how is EOS, if we would like to go to EOS, what you suggest. And as we have a whole platform that is in full development right now, why not to allow them to deploy their games into our ecosystem and benefit from it, give them some advantage on it, and also the users. So it's been happening different ways.
Okay.
We're not
Yeah.
at this stage, we're not reaching out and like talking to people, because also like our time and resources are pretty much taken right now, so we cannot like reach too high for this year. We have a lot to deploy, so we want to focus in what's in store. But obviously if other teams, they're already advancing that their development and they want you to just deploy in our game center, we will allow that. So third-party games are more than welcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm just picturing these, third-party developers like indie games and things like that. There's a lot of people out there that make really cool cell phone games, but they don't have a way to really monetize them. They don't have a way to make them sticky. They get lost in this
Yeah,
sea of the other million games that are launching on Android. So this just seems like a cool way for indie game developers to set themselves apart. So I'm sure that once you
exactly.
start reaching out, it'll be easy.
Yeah, and that's why we're working like so hard into creating this endless runner, making them work. There are still some challenges that we're finding. Like we found out, for example, that the Blocker 3000 doesn't work in all iPhones because Apple didn't. They don't support the WebGL 2.0 in all versions. So only the newest and more powerful phones can actually load the games and allow you to play the games. So right now we're working on solutions for that, because it's a very delicate and very, very complex universe of developing games for the like mobile for cell phone. So all the mobile games, they run very well in all mobile phones, but when you are like deploying them to run on the web and on all the devices, you have a lot of challenges. So right now we're trying to overcome all the technical challenges, and when we'll tune up in a way that we know that it works in all phones, or we can deploy the game center in a way that everyone can access, I think it will be a real game changer. Because then like everyone, then we can onboard any kind of mobile games, and we can tokenize them the way that we're doing with ours. So what we're starting here may be like
Yeah,
like
really.
precursive to the future of mobile gaming for blockchain.
Yeah, it's definitely right on the cusp of something big happening with mobile, and just with the internet in general. That's what this is all about. Is there's some
Yeah, yeah,
interesting overall changes coming to the infrastructure of how we all work together on the internet. It's pretty
yeah.
amazing.
It's
Um,
amazing.
so you mentioned the gallery MVPs coming up soon. Is that right?
Yeah. We're working hard to have it by the end of the month. Our dream is to have it by the Rare AF2 festival in New York. So we have Aaron, one of our team members, who will be presenting there, and we want to have an MVP of the gallery by then.
Killer. And so the Rare AF Festival, that's May 18th, and was that centered around consensus type of thing? What's the deal with the Rare
No,
AF
this is
Festival?
a pure 100% crypto art festival.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So festival for digital artists that work in blockchain and tokenized infrastructures, and with all this huge that we have a lot of websites and a lot of platforms out there like Super Rare, Dada New York. You have a lot of cool stuff out there for crypto and digital artists, and we're joining this movement with our pixEOS Grand Gallery of rare art. So we are like aiming to launch the gallery in the festival, and we're talking to the crypto art crowd about our platform there too.
Okay. So where is the Rare AF festival?
New York.
It's in New York. Okay. And it's a physical event, like a conference or
It's a
like an
physical
actual
event. It's like
festival?
yeah, it's an actual festival. It's a conference.
No way. How cool.
So
Okay.
very artsy, very artsy. There's a lot of cool people participating in it.
Uh-huh.
It's
That's
amazing.
that's that's killer. That's killer.
Yeah,
Um, the let's talk about the exchange listings for people who are interested in that aspect.
yeah.
So you are on Nudex, Chance, and
We are
then what else is
Quebec
going on with all that?
Chance. Yeah, we're listing in Bancor super soon. Most probably, if I think when this podcast will be live, we
Yeah.
will already be live in Bancor. And then we have like around 10 exchange partners, and we will strategically be launching in all of those as sustainably as we can. So we
Okay.
want like to see the reaction, to see the volume that we achieve, and how our token behaves in the market, and create more and more value over it, and have as many functions as we have as we can in the ecosystem. Because pixEOS right now has around like five components out, and I think it's one of the very few tokens out there with five tech functional components out there. So we believe in the value of the token, the value of the project, and we want to see it like we want to match that to the actual development work that we've been doing and community work that we've been doing.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys, I mean, you guys are so active in the community. I'm surprised that you're that you're also building. It's like usually you see one or the other. You usually see a team that's out there doing all kinds of interesting stuff and conferences in the community, but not building that much. Or they're building and you never hear from them because they're heads down. You guys got
Yeah,
a good balance going.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Yeah, and
Um,
thanks to the community, because like we have amazing team members that they came from the community, and
mhm.
they're making an amazing job. We have an ambassador group right now that they're working like tirelessly to bring awareness about the project, and educate people about the project, and let people know what pixEOS is, how to interact with the platform, how to join. They're doing a lot of contests. Context tests with their own pixEOS tokens, so they're actually paying people to join and to know better. So yeah, we need to thank to our team and the ambassadors group for the amazing job they're doing.
Yeah, killer, killer. Um, well, as we start to wind it down here, Fred, where do you see pixEOS and blockchain a year, or maybe 5 years from now? What's the bigger picture for all this?
Can give me okay?
Yes, okay.
Yeah. So the whole picture, like we are like super busy the next year. So in a year where we see pixEOS with a bunch of games deployed. We see pixEOS like the art player in the EOS ecosystem, because we're the first one. So we're the first runner in this area, I would say, in this business, let's say. So yeah, we want to have the gallery populated with beautiful artworks, people actually, the artists getting paid, and the artists actually making some money selling their digital arts in the gallery, because from now on they can be free transacted, and they can be backed by an amazing NFT standard that is the goods. So it will be fast to send them to the collector. They will get like paid immediately. They don't need to wait for it, and they don't pay any fee. So this is the first amazing thing that I think that will make so much, will bring so much value to the gallery being deployed in EOS, and the technology that is always evolving. So this will allow us to add more and more functions to our gallery, because the first time that someone can actually deploy something like this in a so valuable and evolved blockchain like EOS. And yeah, I see a lot of fun, a lot of games, new things being developed, like probably more intricate and complicated game styles and game kinds of games in the ecosystem. So we want to keep on stepping up the game and getting involved with more and more complex stuff. And that's how we started. We got into a canvas that someone already tried to do with EOS. We tokenized it, and we created a whole super complex economy behind it with our own token. We're doing the same right now with the Endless Runners games. We're finding solutions to deploy them into the blockchain the way that they work, and they are interesting not only for blockchain and crypto users, but for mainstream users, that we can deploy them in the app stores and have people actually playing it. And that's what we want to do. We want to continue to innovate and bring new technology and standardize as much as we can for people to use the products and create cool stuff like the avatar maker, like our shop that is coming out in crypto, with crypto payments very, very soon. So it's to bring new projects for people actually to use, and not only something that, like, technology is amazing, but we know that there are so many like amazing teams building technology for a blockchain and to improve the whole blockchain ecosystem. But we believe that we need to create products for people to use and to interact with.
The avatar maker, is that I haven't seen that. Is that a tool that's in the pixEOS ecosystem, or is that something your team's doing?
Yeah, the avatar maker is a tool that we've created. It's a very fun story. Like, we decided in the beginning, I don't know, like one of our team members, I think it was Fabi, she had this like super cute 8-bit avatar. And then I told, I want an avatar like yours. And then she drawn one for me. Actually, it was Stella that drawn one avatar for me. I started to use that avatar, and then all the teams started to use the avatars. And then the users, our community, started to ask, oh, this is so cool, we want an avatar. And what happened is that all our artists, they were like super swamped drawing avatars. And it got to a point that I thought, like, we cannot be drawing these amount of avatars every day. So we talked with the tech team, with our CTO, and with Fabi, that is an amazing designer. And I just told them, like, we need a tool for it. We need something where people can go and design their avatar by themselves and save PNG that they can use later. So that's when the idea started. We developed, like, as quick as we could, an avatar maker. And then later down the road, our tech team decided that it could be connected. It should be connected to the blockchain. So we started to store the avatar data into on-chain. And we evolved the graphic builder to rebuild that metadata in the dApps. So right now it can be integrated by the dApps. We're already in blocks.io, bet dice right now. ES Payout have integrated, and we have a couple of other dApps that are already talking to us into integrating the avatar maker. And it's pretty fun because you're not dealing with a URL, because traditionally you're dealing with a URL, right?
Mm-hmm.
You store your image in a domain, and then the Gravatar system was going to get your image from that domain and showcasing in the application, right? Right now, no. Right now, we're rebuilding it entirely from the information that is in the metadata of your accounts in the blockchain. So if you draw an avatar, you can, like, rebuild it anywhere, as long as the dApp has integrated the system. So it's pretty innovative. People, they not even know what's going on there, because they just see this cute avatar. But when they think about the way that pixEOS connected the blockchain technology with rebuilding your image anywhere from the metadata in the blockchain, is another amazing use case of the EOS technology and what is possible to do with EOS. And it's not something that we're doing to monetize or anything. It's just something that we thought that it would be, like, super cool for the community to have, and to showcase the blockchain technology in a cool avatar maker.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic showcase, and that's the thing about blockchain is as we go further down the road, people won't even realize how it's being used. It just shows up in amazing ways like that, and people don't know or care. They just know they have a cool avatar. But that's a really cool killer use of the blockchain there. I'm glad I asked
Yeah.
that. I had no idea about that. So
Yeah. No, many people don't. They don't know. Like we have so many users there. Sometimes they come and tell, "Well, but what are you doing? I just see the pixels, the paint canvas, right?"
yeah.
But no, there's so much that was built in this. I would say like what 3 months since we
Hmm.
we launched the paint game. There's so much that was built, not only community wise, but also tech wise in pixeos. Like we're paving the way for a lot of stuff to come on. So it's the whole economy that we have designed backing the platform. Is the avatar maker. This is a super use case of blockchain technology and how we can actually use it to solve problems that you couldn't use before. Because with a URL, okay, you go get that image, right? But having the metadata in the blockchain, you can rebuild that image in the wallet, in the application, whatever it is. So in the future, the other applications they can actually use and actually interact with the blockchain without even without knowing it. So
Hmm.
the way it's done, it's like really, really out of box. It's like something like really new that proves that blockchain technology is cool.
Yeah, that's killer. And where's the best place for people if, like you said, that there's a lot going on in pixeos? What's the best site, the
Yeah.
pixeos.io site, or where's the best spot for people to
Yeah,
go find all this stuff that's
I
going
think
on?
the coolest, yeah, I think the coolest place for people to go right now and find about us is our hub, because the hub is that place where you can find all the platforms. We'll be deploying all the platforms there, and you can access the game center, the shop, pixeos paint. You will access very soon the gallery. You can access the avatar maker there. So the hub is the best place to start. If you want more information about the project, it's pixeos.io, but the hub.pixeos.one is the place to go to interact with our dapps. And obviously our Telegram group, it's Pixeos. You simply need to search for Pixeos in Telegram. You get in, and we'll be there to answer all the questions, to explain you, to introduce you to the platform. Our community managers and our team members are amazing. Always there, always helpful, always answering. So yeah.
Killer. And I had one more big thought as we close out the show here. It was you mentioned the art and looking into the future, maybe a few years down the road. The idea that an artist, I was picturing Crypto Graffiti, one of my favorite crypto artists. He does all kinds of cool stuff. The idea that someone like Crypto Graffiti could come into maybe a pixeos canvas, paint something really cool that's one of a kind, and then put it up for sale to the crypto community,
Mm-hmm.
and just have that peer-to-peer transaction between an artist and one of his fans is
Yeah.
just, how cool is that? That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that thought. So Crypto
Yeah. We're
Graffiti, if you're
getting there.
listening, I want to buy your first piece of art on pixeos when it's an NFT.
Yeah. I want to see that too.
Yeah, that's the future. We got a bright future, Fred. This is fun,
I
man.
think so.
This
Yeah,
is
it's
so
just the
rad.
beginning. Yeah, we need to keep growing. I think like when everything will be deployed, people will understand like how great this ecosystem is for the blockchain world. Like
Yeah.
cool stuff, things for the people, for the artists to support them, for people to interact and have a whole the tokenized ecosystem where they can actually interact with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on, Fred. And my EOSwriter podcast friends, guess what? I have a proxy, Mr. Happy Money proxy, where I vote for the raddest block producers in the whole EOS ecosystem. I talk to them on the show. I dig in, make sure that they're legit, transparent, empowering the community and building together. And then I vote for them on your behalf. The Mr. Happy Money proxy, if you're looking for someone to be a good steward of your vote, I'm possibly that person. So consider Mr. Happy Money proxy. And also partnered with the EOSwriter. The EOS podcast and the EOSwriter are now doing the EOSwriter podcast, just to give more reach. We're making a EOS Voltron of media and content providers. So the EOSwriter podcast, that's what this is right here. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, Fred. That's the show for today. Fred, did you have any final words, or you want to say goodbye to the people?
Thank you so much. No, just to thank you so much for being here. Send all our love to our amazing community and the ES community. Hoping that B1 will be like 1st of June will be amazing
Yeah.
for everyone and game changer. And yeah, we keep on building. That's all we do, and we keep on building for this amazing community and hope that everything will be awesome in the future for everyone in the ES universe.
All right. Well, go pixEOS, and that is the EOSwriter podcast. We're signing off. Cheers, Fred.
Cheers. Bye bye.
The money is not the prime asset in life. Time is, and your time is just a